If you were on Twitter at all this weekend, everybody was talking about Brysen Wright, Brysen Wright. So I was like, who exactly is this freshman receiver? We're going to take a deeper look today. Had that catch at the NFL flag thing, and I think he was even getting reported by NFL Insider. So this is a guy that everybody's been talking about this weekend, and we're going to take a look here. 6'2.5", 200 Mandarin in Jacksonville, school that's produced some receivers over the years. Jamie French, the most recent one. Pop Douglas not too long ago, and quarterback Carson Beck even before that. But we're going to take a look at Brysen Wright today, 6'2.5", 200. We're not going to make a habit of watching 2028 receivers. It's just so far down the line. The reason I feel comfortable about this one is because I think this is kind of the exception of a kid that's already so well developed. So what does Brysen Wright do well? There's a lot that he does well. I'll tell you, first of all, for a freshman at 6'2.5", when we're talking about freshmen that are this tall, usually we're talking about kids that were probably 5'11" a year or two ago, 6 foot. They're just really learning how to move with 6'2.5". First of all, there's not that many 6'2.5" freshman receivers. And then those that are look like they woke up and were 6'2.5". They look like they were 4 inches shorter the day before because they don't really know how to move with that length yet. Not the problem with Brysen Wright. You'll see some flashes of the suddenness, the change of direction ability that he brings. I think what really sticks out with me are the ball skills for a freshman. Very developed already, but that's not something I really get excited about, man. I don't get excited, seeing him make that catch in shorts and shirts. I get more excited about some of the route running stuff because that's a situation that receivers are going to find themselves in every play. You're not always going to have to make that kind of Superman type catch. This right here I think is one of the best routes you'll see on this highlight tape. 6'2.5" freshman moving like this, very under control for how long he is and how young he is also. We have to bear in mind that we're going to be watching a freshman highlight tape. He has 3 more years of high school football to kind of work on the finer points. So I hardly ever knock a kid for not having developed football skills just they're in high school. There's high school coaches. We're going to trust the college coaches at the next level to develop that. We can even trust Brysen Wright to round out a lot of this stuff in high school just because of how young he is. But I think right away, 6'2.5", you're getting the plus frame, and then you're getting really good movement skills, really good ball skills. So I think you also see some rack stuff here. This is just a great all-around play. Good ball skills here. See that? You see the frame take over, the 200 pounds take over, running through that. Then you see the suddenness, the quickness. These kids didn't even really get a hand on him till the very end there, after he had caught the ball. It'll also be interesting to track how this kid grows because at 14 years old, we can probably assume he's not done growing. So we might end up actually seeing this dude walk on a college campus at 6'4". And as he does that, we have to see if the change of direction ability comes along with him. Is this a guy down the line that's just more of a physical presence? Right now, he has a really good change of direction, but as you get a bit longer, it starts getting a bit more difficult to be quick to make those cuts as well as he does right now at 6'2.5". I think if he was coming out right now at this height, if you could tell me he'd be at this height with this kind of athletic ability, you'd be very, very, very excited for him to walk on a college campus. But it's just one of those things. He might just not stop growing, and then we might start talking about him a bit more as a jump ball guy. But right now, I think he has it all. One of those reasons I don't talk about freshman football players all that much on this channel is just because that's so far down the line. We don't really know how this kid grows into his body, into his skill set. But you can see the skills are there for a 14-year-old. They're there for a 15-year-old. If this dude was 18, I'd probably believe you also. But overall, it'll just be a fun dude to track. We're going to watch a sophomore highlight tape this upcoming season, junior year tape down the line, and then eventually the senior year tape. That's going to be a whole nother administration we're going to be talking about when this kid's actually coming out of high school. So it'll be a fun player to track for sure. You guys let me know what you think about Brysen Wright. If there's anything I missed. We're not even going to, you're not going to hear me connect any schools to this dude because it's so far down the line. We don't know what coaches are going to be at what school when he actually comes out. You can get excited for this dude to be on your roster, but there's so much that can change over the next 4 or 5 years, 3-4 years, I should say, that we're not going to speculate on at all. We'll just watch him as a football player, and then when he finally gets to his junior year, then we can start connecting him to schools and head coaches and all that. But yeah, really, really going to be a fun guy to watch. I'm trying to think if there's anything else to bring up here. If you guys have any 26, 27 kids you want me to add to my board, I'm probably not going to listen to the 28s yet because it's so far down the line. We kind of want to focus on some more of the kids that will be on college campuses within the next 2 years. 3-4 years, that's kind of pushing it, I think, for what we want this channel to be. But yeah, Brysen Wright, one of the best talents in the country as a really just as any grade, and then especially at freshman. Very, very, very rare, I think, to see a kid this dynamic as a 14-year-old. He's playing against 17, 16, 18-year-olds here, and a tough schedule as well. Mandarin's not a school that's just playing pushovers. They're playing some of the best talent in the country. We saw him against IMG not too many clips ago. So he's got 3 years to develop his skills against some of the best in the country. Very excited for Brysen Wright when he finally does come out. It's way down the line. Thanks for watching. You guys let me know what you think about him.